Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, April 11th is National Barbershop Quartet Day. It's also National Cheese Fondue Day, National 8-Track Tape Day. We still have some of those, I think.
I don't think we do
Maybe
anymore.
in the garage or somewhere. National Pet Day and National Submarine Day. Also, the 12th on Sunday, it is National 412s Day. So it's 412. It's also National Big Wind Day, National Colorado Day, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, National Licorice Day, and something else. I can't remember exactly what that is. Oh, Easter Sunday. I knew it was something. All of those things happening this weekend. And I've got a really interesting guest. Actually, two of them, Heidi.
Okay.
Are you into like supernatural stuff, paranormal type of things?
Some of it. I mean, some of it can get really far out
I've
there.
had several people, because I've got a guy that's like got contacts with all these people. He keeps sending them to me, so which is kind of cool. I've got today Rochelle and Brian from Ghost Hunters on A&E. And this is the second season just started, so we're going to chat with them a little bit about what they do. That's coming up in just a bit. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. New study found that people have been drinking more alcohol, smoking more marijuana and cigarettes as well, and watching more pornographic movies during this COVID lockdown. So it's like if you have more time to do stuff, you're not doing good stuff, apparently. Here's the thing I would encourage you to do. Find something, I don't care what it is, something that when you're all done, you look back and say, wow, that was really cool. I'm glad I got that. Whether it's a project. We're working on some projects at our place.
Several.
But I know somebody who did, like, painted their house, the inside of their house. I know a business that actually, like, tore everything out, and they're just doing a fresh and new. They're like, you know what? We've got the place closed anyway. Let's do new carpet. Let's do all of this stuff. So think of something that you can do, even if it doesn't have to cost money, because, like I just mentioned, painting and that stuff, that costs money, but do sit-ups.
Everybody has something. That
Read a
can
book.
do
Think of something
positive.
positive rather than negative. So when you come out of all of this stuff, you come out a better person. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. We head to Vancouver, where a student and his student driver instructor had a rather unexpected ending to the driving lesson. The driver ran through a stop sign and then failed a roadside sobriety test. What? I don't even...
Wow.
They pulled over this vehicle, went through a stop sign. The 44-year-old male driver... Wow. Usually you think of driver's exams being a kid.
44, huh?
44-year-old male driver had failed a road sobriety test issued by the enforcement office. He says, this may be a funny story, but we're serious about keeping our community safe. He says, not only did the student have his learner's license suspended for 90 days, he also received a ticket for failing to stop at the stop sign, and the instructor is facing consequences and had his car impounded for 90 days.
Huh.
So he's like, yeah, you shouldn't be teaching someone to drive when they're drunk. That's a bad idea. So all of that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. The game show Let's Make a Deal has hit its highest rated week ever during the coronavirus lockdown. More people are home. And
I remember that show.
So
I
you
haven't
know who's
watched
hosting that
for
now?
Years. Wayne Brady.
Yeah, I love Wayne Brady. He just seems like a fun dude. We used to watch him on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes, I loved that show.
Lindsay Lohan is in the news. She announced that she's going to sing a new song coming out. It's called Back to Me. So she's an actress, but she's a singer as well. I didn't know she was a singer.
I didn't know she was a singer.
Apparently she is. Former Major League star Jim Edmonds revealed that he's feeling great after catching coronavirus 2 weeks ago. He's married to one of the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Okay.
So glad to hear, hopefully, that he's doing better. I'm always afraid, because I got this story a couple days ago, I'm always afraid to read a story from like a couple days ago and then find out that some terrible turn for the worse. So if that happened, I'm certainly not trying to be insensitive. I'm just reading stories that I don't know much about. That's going to do it for Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. In Scotland, a man was sitting in the passenger seat of a car while his girlfriend was driving. After he complained for a solid hour about the way she was driving, she stopped and switched places with him, let him take the wheel. He promptly drove the car right into a tree.
Oh, my.
So on top of that, when the police came, they gave him a ticket for driving without a license. So apparently he couldn't do better than she was doing. A dude in England ran a marathon. There's nothing exciting about that, except for it was in his backyard. So I'm not sure if he ran laps around the yard.
Did. Yeah, just laps.
Or if he ran like on a treadmill in his backyard.
Probably laps.
I don't know. But there's no link to the story. It's just that little headline. Scientists at Stanford University created a smart toilet. It recognizes your tush imprint and can detect early signs of cancer. What?
Oh, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Quite understand all of that, but okay.
I don't know why you want it to recognize your tush imprint, but it's really super cool that it...
That's how it can detect if there's a change of this or that, and it can say, hey, maybe you should lay off the whatever. I have no idea.
That's really cool.
I'm not sure. It's a smart toilet. A group of McDonald's drive-thru workers in Los Angeles staged a walkout over the unsafe conditions they've encountered during this pandemic. So that happened in Los Angeles at a McDonald's. New Jersey police arrested a Pink Floyd cover band after they staged a concert on the front lawn. They had 30 people there. They were playing Have a Cigar when the police showed up. And they were arrested in New Jersey for playing on the front lawn. So I wonder why. I suppose the band would be the ones that incited the crowd.
Yeah. But
I wonder if the crowd was arrested too or just the band. I don't know. I'm amazed that a Pink Floyd cover band attracted 30 people. So they must be way better than they sound. I don't know. To me, that sounds really cheesy. And I do like Pink Floyd. I just can't imagine a cover band, I don't know, playing on a lawn in New Jersey. In Colombia, crowds have been flocking to pray at a tree where an image of Jesus has appeared.
Oh,
I have a link to this story if you'd like to see that, if you'd like to learn more about it. There's a link to it. It's in the show notes. I'll tell you how to find that here in a bit. And the White House is urging Americans to avoid grocery shopping while this next week or so, this is like the biggest week. And I guess we just kind of wrapped up the big week.
Right.
But they're saying to avoid, if you can, going to public places when, there's the peak week here, again, which we're just kind of wrapping up. But I know there are some places where they've limited the number of people that can come and go and all of that. And one last thing, Apple is now making face shields for healthcare workers battling coronavirus. I think that's really cool.
That is cool.
So they're giving those to people who are working in the health field and saying, hey, this will hopefully help you a little bit. Mentioned earlier about that photo about the image of Jesus appeared at a tree there in Colombia. I've got a link to that story and all of the other things we talked about in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with not one, but two guests today. We have Rochelle Stratton and Brian Murray, and we're going to talk about Season 2 of Ghost Hunters on A&E. How are you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Well, I appreciate both of you taking the time to chat with us. Now, We're going to start one at a time here. We're going to go ladies first. So, Rochelle, what was it that first got you interested in the paranormal, and how did you decide to get involved in this fun program?
So I had my first experience when I was 8. I woke up to someone standing at the foot of my bed. I told my mom about it. She didn't believe me. The next night, my sister woke up. The same person was standing at the foot of her bed. And then our mom started to believe us a little bit more. Fast forward a few years later, when I was 20, me and my sister started to investigate and go on ghost hunts, and then eventually joined Riverbend Paranormal, which is Brian's team. Then somehow got on Ghost Hunters. I wasn't trying. I was just investigating as one of my hobbies that I was passionate about, and still trying to wrap my head around how I got on Ghost Hunters. But here I am, and I'm excited about it.
That's really cool. Now let's turn over to Brian. First of all, Brian, thank you for your service. I see that you were a Marine Corps platoon sergeant. So how did you go from that to doing what you're doing now?
Well, honestly, I had my experiences before I even joined the Marine Corps. I had experience when I was around 16 years old that got me into this. You know, I went to a girl's house to, go on a date with her or whatever. She went to the restroom. Her mother came to bring some drinks into the room with us. She bent over, and behind her was a man standing. This man essentially stood there, looked at me, walked, and disappeared in front of me.
Oh, wow.
Left. I have not spoke to that girl yet since that day. And I started doing all the research. I'm serious.
They're still dating.
Yeah. I started doing research and reading and watching anything I could on the phenomena. And I decided once I got out of the Marine Corps that I was going to start a team. And I started a team with my buddy Matt called Riverbend Paranormal. And I did that for years. And I got a call one day if I was, interested in possibly being on a paranormal TV show. I said, okay. And here I am on my second season of Ghost Hunters.
And that's really cool. Now, when you guys get a chance to meet people, are more people kind of freaked out by what you do, or more people think it's really cool? What is the response when you say, yeah, we're paranormal researchers, this is what we do?
Usually like, hey, I have a ghost story for you.
Oh. Do you get quite a few of those where people say, hey, here's what happened to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost everywhere that if you get recognized somewhere, first response out of their mouth usually is, so let me tell you about this ghost I've got.
Oh.
I think more people are interested in it. I think they, I think they want to talk about it, but they feel like it's still taboo.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't really want to talk about it. But with these shows and like Ghost Hunters coming out there and starting things, I feel like it's becoming more, open to people, and I think people really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I would say more people like it than are scared or freaked out.
Well, and the thing that I'll say is I think that there are a lot of people who do have, even whether it's an interest or if it's just kind of a fascination. But I can also tell you, when I let people know that, hey, we're going to have these guests, and I've had several guests recently that are more along the paranormal lines, and I get some flack from people that are like, why do you talk to these people? I think it's absolutely fascinating. So I just wondered, what is it like living in your shoes where you're doing this 24/7 every day?
I feel like it's just a part of me now. I enjoy it, and it's not every day you get to go do this with your best friend, like Rochelle's my best friend, and get to help people. So it's like a win-win for me, for sure.
That is awesome.
Before Ghost Hunters, I was a hygienist. I'm still a dental hygienist, but in that aspect, I like to help people, and I feel like it just kind of transfers over because when I'm ghost hunting, I get to help the person who's living and hopefully help the person who's already passed on. So it's a passion for me, and I know that when I was, like I said, when I was younger and I told my mom and she didn't believe me, it crushed me. And I just want to help people out there. It's like, you can tell me your ghost story, and I'm going to believe that it happened, and I'm going to help you figure it out. I'm not just going to write it off and make you feel crazy. And I think that's what makes it drive me. I want people to know that there are people out there that believe you.
Again, it's called Ghost Hunters. Season 2 just premiered on A&E. You can see it on Wednesday nights. Right now, even a little vacation would be nice.
But this one is going to be great.
This October, we're going to Cancun for a fun event called The Sands.
Hear awesome music from Billy Idol, Belinda Carlisle, Cheap Trick, and so many more.
This happens at the end of October. And when everything blows over, we're going to need a vacation. I hope you will join us.
We've been to this same event for the last 3 years, and it's so much fun. I wouldn't miss it.
Get all the information and get your spot reserved to join us at radiotravelgroup.com.
That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Humans are not the only species to adopt. We've seen heartwarming videos of dogs nursing baby squirrels back to health, and there's actually much more common than we think. It becomes mutually beneficial to have more furry friends in the group to take on other roles in survival. Whether that be hunting or gathering or just simply cute companionship, the phenomenon is not completely understood, but it is clear that both humans and animals have instincts to care for others. But for others, for animals, it's free. And I think it's crazy how expensive adoption
it
is.
should be free for
And I'm not saying it should be
humans.
free. I understand there are
It
fees
should.
involved.
I mean, if you don't want the child, you should be able to get it as long as you're a qualified, responsible parent.
And that's where I understand why there's so much red tape, but sometimes I think, boy, that's maybe just a bit much.
Ridiculous.
Well, you want to make sure a baby's going to a good home, but sometimes I think that it goes a little overboard. We know some friends who adopted. It was so expensive, and I just thought, wow, I'm glad you were able to do that. This has been today's Fun Fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline, Hong Kong. 2 pandas at the Hong Kong Zoo. Have you seen this?
No,
They're using the lockdown privacy to bow, bow, bow.
No, I don't know how I would have seen this.
It was all over the internet. It's been all over the internet for days, Heidi.
You've been watching pandas.
I'm not watching pandas do. No, I just saw the story.
Oh.
It says they have been together for over 10 years and have not mated in 10 years. And all of a sudden, no crowds of people. Within a week, bow chicka wow wow, we might have some new pandas coming to the Hong Kong Zoo. I think they're just shy. Apparently, pandas are shy. That's something that we found out, or at least these two are. That is today's news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news comes your way courtesy of weirdgiftoftheday.com. Police broke up a funeral in New Jersey. Charged 15 men, including a 100-year-old mourner, with violating the ban on public gatherings.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so there were 15 people instead of 10. According to police, officers found about 60 to 70 individuals. Okay, so it was more than just 15.
Okay.
Gathering for a funeral on a street corner. It says when police sought to disperse the individuals.
Funeral on a street corner? Where were they burying this person?
I don't know. Anyway, the crowd became unruly and argumentative. Wait a minute. In New Jersey? Are you sure? Police, I'm just kidding.
Big news.
I've got some friends in New Jersey. You guys are awesome. Police subsequently charged 15 men with violating the coronavirus safety order because they apparently wouldn't leave. One of them is Nasim Strolovic. He's a 100-year-old resident, and he said he didn't want to go. So this just seems really interesting to me that happened. I don't know. I'm going to just...
You know what? He probably came here from, with a name like that, sounds like he maybe came here from a communist country of some kind, and he came here to be free, and all of a sudden, you can't even stand on a street corner. So I'm sure he was being obstinate for a reason.
Yeah.
He's probably lived through more.
I have no clue where he's been or what he's done, but I do think that it's just sad that people are being arrested at a funeral. I mean, that's not an arrest situation. That's where make them go home. Go home. Just go.
Yeah, if they wouldn't and they were
I
being
understand.
combative,
And that's where
it gets
That's
sticky.
why it is today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A man in Jacksonville, Florida, was arrested after he allegedly sprayed a bottle of what he claimed to be COVID-19 on the doors of a local business.
A bottle of COVID-19.
Yeah, so let me explain here. According to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, deputies were dispatched to a business on Sunday before noon after getting reports of a man contaminating the place with COVID-19. David White went up to a business with a container labeled COVID-19 While the man went into the business, he allegedly sprayed the doors and the surrounding areas with this unknown substance. He told employees and patrons that they were now infected with coronavirus. He was arrested under the provisions manufacture, possession and sale, delivery, display, and use of attempted or threatened use of a weapon of mass destruction or hoax weapon of mass destruction. So this wasn't anything. I think it was water, whatever it was. He gets to go to jail for a long time because he thought, oh, this is going to be a funny prank. No, it's not. Don't do that. That's why it's today's Moment of Duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. At this point, I read a little headline, and you and my beautiful bride Heidi over here get to guess, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it made up? Is it hashtag fake news just to trick you and amuse me? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida. An Orlando sheriff's deputy who was investigating a shoplifting incident at Walmart was busted for shoplifting from Walmart. What do you think? Fake news or
Fake
Florida?
news.
Yeah, it was fake news.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. You would hope that wouldn't happen, but boy, you never know.
You never know, especially in Florida. You never
well,
know.
Just anywhere. Anywhere. We love you, Florida. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of hashtag Gift Card Challenge. You can find them online at giftcardchallenge.org. Heidi, I absolutely love this story. Every animal at Chicago Animal Control has been adopted. How cool is that?
Isn't that neat?
I used to be on the board for a facility that was called a Humane Society in my hometown. And it was so difficult because there were dogs or cats that had been there for a long, long time. And if I stayed on that board much longer, I was going to look like, a crazy cat person or a crazy dog person, because I was like, I just want every pet to have a home. Well, now they have one. For the first time in the history of the Chicago Animal Care and Control Shelter, their shelter is completely empty.
Awesome.
It's
never love that.
Ever happened before. Never. So that is such an amazing thing. It says as people are transitioning to stay-at-home orders, families across the country have decided that right now would probably be a good time to adopt a pet. In New York City, in Los Angeles, and other places, more and more people are adopting pets, up to 200% more than last year.
That's beautiful.
So fostering pets, 200% increase. Pet Point software program shared that 1,200 nationwide shelters nationwide report fostering adoptions are up 700% over last year. So 200% I thought was awesome, but 700%, that's even more awesome. It says right here, we are seeing people all over the country stepping up to foster and adopt animals from their local shelters and rescues. It's truly been a game changer in the sheltering world. And this is from the CEO of Kitty Block. So it says, we are officially all out of adoptable animals, said right on their Facebook page. What a great thing.
Fantastic. Love it.
That is so cool. If you'd like more information on this, I've got a link to it in the show notes. And if maybe you're saying, hey, I think I need to adopt a pet, maybe reach out to your local organization and see, hey, got any pets left? I don't have that info on me, but I bet you can find it on the old interwebs. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.